Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Nothing like the sound of Tamara Marshall's voice in your ears on a Thursday morning telling you good morning, as I do too. Good morning, Barbados. Welcome to today. Today is Thursday, the 16th of January, 2023. And you know it's the best month of the year. I don't have to tell you that, do I? Okay, I'll tell you that. It's the best month of the year. And before I forget, let me say good morning and happy birthday today to Anne Norville. Anne Norville. Did I say 2023? It's 2025. Where am I living? In what decade am I living? I'm living in 2025. So good morning again, Barbados. It's January the 17th, 2025. I'm Pearson Bowen. Good to have you company at the end. It's the 16th. And so, Anne Norville, today you're celebrating your birthday. Congratulations to you. You work with Massey's Super Center in Oystons. Good friend of ours. We call her Miss Big Hips, but she knows exactly what we mean when we say that. But to you, Anne, have yourself today a marvelous day. We hope that you live it to the very best that you possibly can and enjoy your time. Now, today, of course, I will have for you some more riddles. I'll also have for you today a question which tests your conscience. And I really hope it pricks you today to give me an honest response. So I'm looking forward to interacting with you in just a moment. Also, I want to share with you today the outcomes of a report conducted by KPMG. The doctors are here. They'll talk to us a little bit more about healthcare and how we can see beyond the horizon and some of those things that will transform our healthcare system. So we can't wait to hear from them. They've just completed a public session, and so we want to hear and get a report on that. The Methodist Church continues to empower those who sit in its pew and those who are within its environs. And so they're engaging in a number of educational programs. We'll get to hear more about how that can benefit you as they'll join us a little later on to talk a bit about that. You do know that Tuesday coming is Arrow Barrow Day, don't you? Well, you do recall that the Right Excellent Arrow Barrow was a part of the Light Airplanes Club. And so they're having an open day. We want to hear more about how we can take to the sky, sit in the cockpit, just enjoy the whole beauty of aviation. So we'll talk to them about that as well today. This other guest we'll be engaging with today has left the cushy job at the BBC and she's engaging in her passion. And so we want to hear from her how that transition went, how has it been thus far, and how you can learn from that experience that she's had on her journey to fulfilling her best self. Creating really positive spaces is the mission of the Hope Church. And so this morning they'll join us to talk a little bit about an upcoming concert called I Believe and how you can be a part of it and why are they doing this. We'll talk to them about that. The My Lord's Hill community is also on Arrow Barrow Day having a very interesting session. They're taking you on a walk for peace, a walk and run, and so we want to hear from the organizers how you can be a part. But I want to get your brains ticking early in the morning, so here I'll go with our conscience question of the day. And yesterday we asked you this. We had some very interesting responses. Let me hear from you now by calling me on 228-5562 or 228-5563. That question remains. If a stranger drives up to you, hands you an envelope containing $100,000 and drives off, what would you do? What would you do? Yesterday we heard from one person who said she'd take it home, sit on it for a couple of months and wait and see if anyone is scouting the area looking for her. Then she'll decide whether or not she wants to park it. We heard from another one who said that they will take it directly to the police as well. What would you do? What would you do? Seriously, I really want to hear from you. Your conscience has to tell you, what would you do? What would you do if a driver comes up to you, hands you an envelope with $100,000 and just speeds away? What then will you do once you open that envelope and you see $100,000 in it? What would you do? Would you keep it? Would you give it away? Would you take it to the police? Would you run after the car? Would you be kerfuffled? Or would your eyes open wide and you see the car of your dreams and you go purchase this, you purchase that? What would you do? And I'm not going to share what I'll do. I'll hear from you. 228-5562 or 228-5563. You know I'm very patient. I will wait on you. So as much as I wait on you, I'd like for you to give me a call, and little later on, I'll be checking in with you to hear what your conscience tells you. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Interrupt me anytime and I'll get to hear those responses. But let's turn our attention now to that healthcare report produced by KPMG. I'm happy to be joined this morning by two of those who led that report. Dr. Anna Van Pook, good morning to you.
Good morning.
You are the Global Head of Healthcare with KPMG International. And next to her is Dr. Edward Fitzgerald, the Head of Healthcare and Life Sciences for KPMG Islands Group. What's the difference in the way Islands Group and International?
Well, international covers the whole globe, so that's from Japan to New Zealand, and that's from, Canada to Chile, whereas the Islands Group...
It's a really interesting area because we cover, as the name suggests, all of the islands across the Caribbean, the Atlantic, the Crown dependencies around the UK and the Mediterranean. So we've got a real specific focus on working with offices in our island communities.
And so governments around the world are very concerned about the ballooning cost of healthcare, and also finding new and different techniques to be able to respond to the concerns of its citizens. Let's start with you, Dr. Van Pook. Talk to me a little bit about what the report finds.
Yeah, we call it in short the wow and how of healthcare transformation. And you're very right. Governments across the globe are all very worried about ballooning healthcare costs, the shortage of workforce, long waiting list. Can we keep healthcare accessible? Can we keep it equitable? Is it accessible for everybody? Can we keep the quality high? And the answer in a lot of cases is that that's going to be very difficult. What we did, we took the learnings from all across the globe. Like I just mentioned, a few countries. What are they doing to address these changes? How are they using technology? How are they supporting their workforce? For example, what role can electronic medical records play? How can we use data to have a much better view of who's vulnerable, who's not, how to act early? And then we dive deep into transformation. Transformation in healthcare is very hard because there's many people concerned. Doctors, nurses, government, payers, insurers, the citizens. Everybody wants to know and say something about it. So we also looked at how are other countries, how did they do big transformations, and how are they cracking it to get the way forward.
And so, Edward, when you looked at the Caribbean region, I just want to zone in for just a moment, because while we have a shortage of healthcare, that's because it's exported elsewhere. So ours is somewhat a little different from what other territories would experience. What did you find peculiar to the Caribbean, or is there anything peculiar to how our healthcare systems work?
So I think one of the major challenges is scale, and the challenges of smaller health systems, whether there's an ability to offer the same specialisms that you might have elsewhere, whether some islands have chosen to take particular areas and spend more time working and focusing on those, and whether there's the collaboration between the islands to help support that. And the other key point is really thinking about that workforce pool, whether there's the same ability to train and then recruit and retain people, because the world of international healthcare now is becoming very, very mobile. Healthcare workers are able to travel where they're able to get the best training as well as the best return and investment on the time that they're spending to educate themselves in healthcare. And the Caribbean in particular, I think, has a number of opportunities in all of those areas. There is growing strength of regional training and education so that healthcare workers hopefully stay more within the region. But I think there's an opportunity as well for more collaboration between the islands so that the Caribbean healthcare dollar stays within the Caribbean rather than, as is often the case these days, travels out overseas for overseas care in the same way that many healthcare workers are doing themselves for jobs.
Dr. Van Pook, you also talked about the use of digitization and technology.
Yes.
And we know in some other spaces of the world, they're introducing robotics into the practice of medicine. How much of your report speaks to that, and Barbados, the region's ability to be able to adapt that as a part of its healthcare?
Yeah, we speak a lot about digitization, we speak a lot about the use of data, we speak less about robotics, we speak more about AI. Can you just imagine, we are now working with a company, they have clinical chatbots, and in case of a heat wave, the chatbots were able to phone 300,000 people to assess how they were doing, whether they were at risk, give them advice, and in case they were in danger, they ordered a taxi, brought them to a cooling center. So that's the power of data and digital. Now, what we're saying a lot is that data is going to be the new oil in healthcare. Just imagine if you here in Barbados would have an overview, a disease surveillance of NCDs, know who had NCDs, monitor them very closely by using remote techniques, and being able so have someone who has hypertension not waiting until they have a stroke, but have the data on them and being able to act much earlier, give them the right medication, keep them under control. So data and digital is going to be very important. It's going to be important to take away a lot of the strain of healthcare workers by taking away administrative tasks, but it's also going to be able to do much more continuous monitoring to know much earlier who's endangered and what we can do about it and act earlier.
Dr. Fitzgerald, is always a fear when one introduces concepts like AI. You think first of the job loss and how we integrate this into it. How do we make it work together, humans and technology and also AI and that intelligence? What's the approach beyond the horizon that we see to be able to achieve some of these?
So it's such a topical area, and I think the context in healthcare is particularly important because there is a global crisis in the healthcare workforce. We're short of healthcare workers everywhere, and countries are unfortunately stealing from other countries. So the opportunity for AI is to enhance the workforce that we have, to help support them and build their skills, to counter some of that crisis, some of that shortage. So I don't think people should be seeing it as a threat. I think it is an opportunity to be able to extend people's reach and allow them to do more with the fewer healthcare workers that we have these days. And so thinking about it in that frame, I think is going to be really important. How can we really build on the workforce that we have to help them reach further and do more? That's the approach that we're really thinking about for this.
Dr. Van Poel, healthcare is administered at the government level. Getting this report into that level, how has it been for you so that you sit with those decision makers to make it happen?
Yeah, so the good news is we brought the report out end of October, and we have already shared it with over 2,000 leaders, both in the provider space but also in the government space. So the conscience, the knowledge that healthcare is under strain is very high in governments. Governments feel responsible because health is wealth. Having a strong healthcare system, being able to treat your citizens in the right way, to take care of them in the right way, is also giving you a very productive nation, is giving you a healthy nation. Every government in this globe realizes that their healthcare systems are under severe strain. They're all looking for the solutions. Now, healthcare is very often, I always call it, you play in the national league because it takes place within borders. That means that the ability to learn from what other countries are doing is quite small. And that's where we can come in as KPMG, having a global reach. We have healthcare practices in 70 countries. We've got 5,000 people dedicated to healthcare across the globe, and governments reach out very proactively to us and ask us, what are other countries doing? What can we learn from others? And my experience is that they are so motivated to learn, to hear about the solutions, and to really start deploying the solutions.
Dr. Fitzgerald is working to scale because not all economies are the same. Not all economies can carry the cost of the transformation that we're talking about here. How do regional governments manage this transformation, do you think, working with limited GDP?
So I think that's a really important point because any change that happens has to be sustainable going forward. And I think it also really has to come from the health system itself. And so the support that we often help provide in this situation is really the project management of being able to help support that change and really upskill the local teams so that they can help drive that forward and take it forward themselves. But I think without that, it isn't sustainable. It has to be something that comes from the system rather than a health system having something done to it. And there has to be that desire for them to change as well. I think when you have got that buy-in from the local health system, then I think there's a willingness for people to learn and develop on what is often a long journey of change. Without that, it doesn't stick. It isn't sustainable. But with that, the system is able to change itself, even within the constraints of the GDP restrictions it might have.
And so, Dr. Van Poel, the report seems to me to tackle a number of layers of healthcare, from the low-end healthcare provider right through to the administrator. And so access to this information, how accessible is it to everyone who works within the healthcare system to be able to mine the information therein?
You just fill in Healthcare Horizons Revisited, KPMG, and you are being brought to the right website, and you can download the report. So that's the easy answer. What we do, and that's why I travel all the time, I work with the local practices, so here in Barbados with the KPMG Islands practice, but in a couple of weeks I will be in Japan, and then I will be in the US. So I am working continuously with the local teams to bring the knowledge and the contents of the report. And when I'm traveling, we organize a lot of sessions. So yesterday we had a beautiful session. We had about 60 people in the room. The whole healthcare ecosystem of Barbados is there. And we tell them about the report, but more important, we then have very intensive dialogues with these stakeholders to really go in depth to the content and help them what is applicable to different nations. Different nations will have different needs, but that's where we come in to help the stakeholders to get the knowledge, the access. But visiting the website is a very easy one of getting access as well.
Remind us the website.
You just type in Healthcare Horizons Revisited, KPMG, and then you will be led to the website immediately.
Healthcare Horizons Revisited, KPMG. Just Google search that and you're good to go. You'll be taken right to where you need to go. So for acceptance, there has to be engagement at all levels. And so how do we begin? When next? What's next, basically? The report is presented. You've had the engagement. What's next so that the people who you're serving also don't have a fear and a resistance to what you're actually trying to do?
Yeah, I think it's great to share that this afternoon we will have a meeting with Future Barbados, and we will have the conversation exactly there. They were at our meeting yesterday. They have access to the report, and what we're going to discuss, what are the examples worldwide that are really relevant for Barbados? What can they use? What can they harvest on? And then what we're going to have the conversation about, how can we run the program together? And that's essential in healthcare, to run the program in the right way. I had a client who said very rightly, don't do to your clients, don't do to the community, do with the community. So one of the approaches that we have as KPMG is that we work very intensively with everybody involved. So when we do that transformation program, we will work with administrators, but we will work with doctors, we will work with GPs, we will work with nurses, medical specialists, we will work with funders, with governments, bringing them all together in the room and helping them to make the right decisions and helping to bring new ideas and new concepts that they can start using here. But having everybody, don't try to do it by yourself. You need to have everybody in the room. It's a tough job, but it's a very rewarding job.
I just love those 4 letters, WITH, W-I-T-H. That's so critical to the delivery of healthcare and any form of transformation at all, you know, where everyone sits at the table, everyone shares, and so it works that way. But within the islands of the Caribbean, though, Dr. Fitzgerald, you know, we're separated by water. On a continent, it's a lot easier. We just travel, you fly wherever the case, but you drive. But because of that separation, there's a sense of autonomy. It's mine. I don't have to share it with you because we're separated by water. How do we within the Caribbean begin to, at that level, to sit down among ourselves to begin this transformation?
So I think some of that conversation already happens. If you speak to healthcare professionals and providers, there are very good links across the Caribbean region. Whether that's as strong at the government level, whether there's opportunities there for greater collaboration, I think there are. And I think that can take a number of forms. That could be around healthcare workers sharing their skills between different islands. It can be about sharing training. It can also, of course, be about sharing patients and perhaps having some centres or areas that specialise in one thing and another. That coordination and collaboration, I think, is really important to strengthen healthcare in the region, because actually when the islands are added together, that scale is there. And I think there is a willingness to look at that more now.
You know, the horizon is what we can see, is all we can see, but KPMG's report takes us beyond that horizon now. There's a new way of thinking when it comes to the delivery of healthcare, and so we're excited about the work you've done, both of you doctors, and so we can't wait to hear the next steps. I know you have another session today. What time is it and where is it?
We're going to be meeting this afternoon, actually. We've got a number of meetings where we're going to be sharing some more outcomes from the report.
Brilliant. We can't wait to hear more. Remember, good folks, go to Google, check the new Healthcare Horizons Revisited Report, KPMG. It's right there on your screen. That's what you'll see. And once you see that, you know you're there. And because you're there, take some time to browse, to read carefully, not just as a healthcare provider, but as a patient, because you also want to see what's new and cutting edge on the horizons of delivery of healthcare indeed. Dr. Anna Van Pook, good morning, and thank you so very much again. Dr. Edward Fitzgerald, thank you too. They're from KPMG, and the report is now accessible to all of us. It's important that we all get to know what's in that report. All the very best. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Morning Barbados continues in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 24 minutes now after 6 o'clock this morning. It's a Thursday morning, and it's so good to have your company. We're turning our attention now to investing in the next generation. I know when you hear that, you're probably thinking money, you're thinking finance, and a whole host of things, but there's so many other ways in which we can invest. We're talking about empowerment through education. And so we're joined this morning as the Methodist Church launches into this by Maureen Pollard. She is the leader of the next generation, really and truly, but she's also part of that computer studies and math program. Next to her is Kits Cadet.
Yes.
You know, Kits is a name of an island.
Yes, it is.
Kits,
Yes.
Kits Cadet.
Mhm.
And where did this cadet come from?
That
Marriage?
was, yes.
What were you before?
Spencer.
So which one do you prefer?
Spencer.
I hope your husband is. Kits Cadet, she is, you're actually quite involved in a number of things, Kits, you know, special needs, literacy, and an instructional coach in Atlanta as well.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And heaven help me with the pronunciation of this name, Dr. Shiaka Drakes.
Yes,
Did I say that right?
Perfectly.
Ooh, I like that word, perfect. You're a math tutor with the Aviation Teachers Training College as well. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
The Methodist Church, and I'll start with you, Maureen. Why is the Methodist Church interested in teaching math?
Yeah, I think that's the question on everybody's list. So the Methodist Church has actually had a long history in education. As you know, throughout the Caribbean, even here in Barbados, there's always been schools associated with the Methodist Church. So that's one of our reasons. The second one is that we are also very keen on investing in the next generation, as you indicated. And we started a project specifically for that. And it has two parts to it. The workshop which we are doing, but this workshop, I will let kids talk a little bit more about that, had a precursor to it. There was a series of math workshops like this for the Methodist schools across the region. We have one secondary and about 6 primary, and we had concerns about the standard as it relates to the performance in mathematics. But because even though Barbados no longer has Methodist schools, we still have the same problem, that the performance both at the level of the common entrance and at the level of CXC is not where it should be. And so the Methodist believes that our role is not just spiritual development, but holistic development. So we thought that we should try to bring this same workshop to Barbados.
And it's such a vital time, as you've said, Maureen. And so, Kits, it's at you now, where Maureen just said that you have been so integral into developing this. What's been your role, and how do you see this really empowering the citizens of Barbados?
So first, let me give a little history. The Methodist Church in 2019 recognized that many of its schools were underperforming. And so it took a bold move then in 2019 to really work with its schools. We have 15 primary, 1 secondary, and 8 preschools, so that we are engaged with all of these schools in the area of education. We recognize that across the region, math is an area of concern. I think in this year, with this year's results, only 37 or very similar number % of our students across the region were successful at the CXC level in mathematics. So again, the church believes that we must partner. We must. Our purpose is not only that of scriptural holiness, but that of really supporting our young people to move to the next level. We worked with Dr. Banha. We have been working with him now since, I think, 2016, and he has been to all the islands of the South Caribbean district. And these are Trinidad, Tobago, Grenada, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and now Barbados. The methodologies, if we are to look at the kind of progress that has been made in Singapore over the years, since 1985, I think it is, we recognize that their approach to mathematics is what has made a difference. You know, Dr. Banha shared with us yesterday that the lowest 20% of students, of performing students in math in Singapore, they are average compared to the rest of the world, or those persons who do the international examinations. In bringing Dr. Banha to Barbados, we are beginning to support in turning the key. Now, it's foolhardy to think that his presence here over this period will change the trajectory of math. What we are doing is sowing a seed. Sowing a seed that must be watered, must be nurtured for it to come to fruition.
And I like the way where you're starting in sowing your seed, you're teaching the teachers.
Oh, of course.
You're training the teachers in the approach.
In the approach, yes.
And so, Dr. Davis, this is where you come in, because what's your role in all of this? Are you part of the training of the receipt of instruction, or are you there for certification?
So this is my second live Banhar interaction. He does several workshops online as well. So I've attended from the time I met him, the first time the Methodist Church brought him quite a few years ago, until now, every opportunity I've had to kind of learn from him, I've definitely taken it because he's a brilliant man. And when I say brilliant in mathematics, people often think of mathematics brilliance as able to do lots of complicated things. But he's the opposite. He's able to explain things that you thought were complicated in the most simplest of manners. And I think that this is a very important thing for us to understand as teachers. So partly I'm there because I just absolutely love him. Anybody that knows me knows that I absolutely love him. I love to hear him talk and see the way he thinks about things. So I'm there partly for my own training, but also to kind of brush up on stuff I've learned before, to encourage other people to be there, because whatever we get from him has to kind of be renewed and refreshed as we go on. And a lot of the times as a teacher, you come to these kinds of workshops and there's a lot of information and it can feel very overwhelming. I don't know what I'll do in my classroom tomorrow. I don't know how I'll implement these 7 things that I saw him do that I really want to do. And my job, I think, having heard the information, is to kind of help that transition. I can go into the schools, I can talk to teachers, okay, let's try to implement this one thing first. And then we can layer it as we go ahead, and that's how we can get a change.
There's always the question, how? Once you hear something, okay, and I see it so often in meetings, you're talking to people, you're sharing a concept, but all they're thinking is how am I going to do this? You can see the mind's churning. So I can well imagine teachers watching today asking, okay, fine, I hear you, he has all of these wonderful concepts that will make mathematics easy. How? Who can answer that?
I will start that. One of the things we are doing is establishing a learning community here in Barbados. And we started yesterday. It was great enthusiasm, so I think everybody signed on to it. And the idea is that we will continue to have him support the teachers as they try to implement some of what they would have learned. I don't know if Kits wants to talk a bit more about that.
And that certainly is in partnership with the Ministry of Education. We are not doing anything in isolation. It's always in partnership with the Ministry of Education, because we feel that a one-stop shop will not do it. And I'm sure that we are all familiar with going to these conferences and workshops, and we are all enthused. And then we get back to what is our reality, and we say, okay, how?
Exactly.
Yes. So we are trying to circumvent that kind of feeling of anxiety, because it's a lot and you want to do it all. So in an attempt to do it all, you'll do nothing. You know, so that is what we are trying to support
avoid
teachers. They are trying to, then doing nothing.
Because knowledge empowers, and so it's the application of that knowledge that really makes the world of a difference. So who, now that you've trained the trainers, a la teachers, who monitors, who ensures that it really gets in and sinks in? That's where you come in, Dr. Davis? Throw you under the bus, sorry.
Under the truck.
Well, I'm already, Erdison is already doing lots of professional development. We're already going out into schools. This is a part of the mandate. So we have people come into the schools, we go out into schools. We're already doing all of the teacher training, as you would already know. But I think that for me, nobody actually even told me this is something I'm going to have to do, as much as my enthusiasm for it. So like when I think the first workshop I went to was on a weekend, because he's such in demand. You have to book him years and years in advance. And he was in Trinidad, I believe, and we got to sneak him over to Barbados the first time for a weekend. So it probably would have been his weekend off, but he didn't get any weekend off because he came here. And I was blown away. Like, I went to a little bit reluctantly because it was my weekend. But then I went and I was blown away by the methods he was showing. I was like, no, everybody needs to know this. And for the next 5 years, that's all I've been doing really in my teaching. I was like, my teaching has to change and people need to know. And I do all of these workshops in the primary schools, in the secondary schools. And often people will say, oh, I've never seen this before. I've never thought of it like this before. But this is not the way I was taught. And so it's not as much Erdiston has told me that you're going to have to carry on the mantle, as much as it's the only obvious next step, right? Like I'm already doing the training, and if I have this information, why wouldn't I share it with the teachers of Barbados?
You're such a champion of change. I love that. I love that. And so, Maureen, you would have had a session with the primary school teachers, and now you're having one with the secondary school teachers.
Yes. So our plan today is to have all the secondary schools, and we've had a good response there as well. And of course, we'll be taking it up a notch. So we'll be looking at areas like algebra and things like that.
Right.
But his approach is very interesting. He allows the participants to be the students, and he the teacher. So you're actually seeing how it would be applied.
You apply it,
yes,
and how the students receive it.
Right.
Okay.
And I think one of the positive things as well, which will happen for both the primary and secondary, is that he has lots of websites as well that would have further examples. He's also published. So, you know, you have other support documents and support information to help you as you try to introduce these areas. As a matter of fact, I am planning to use some of what I saw. And I think some of the teachers are suffering from a bit of shell shock, you know, because you were told a lot of it was about how you communicate maths, the fact that maths is a language. And so we have been taught you do something a particular way. And he starts by saying there's to be no rote learning, right? There's not to be any particular procedure for doing it. You allow the students to explore and come up with the right answer.
Which brings me to your kids again, because special needs is part of what you do. And oftentimes we think special needs children can't understand these concepts, so we almost dumb it down. That's my term. What's the benefit to having teachers of special needs be a part of this session?
So let me start with saying, one of the schools that Dr. Banha is in charge of in Singapore is a school for children with autism. Yesterday he shared with us the thing, 2,500?
Yes.
That was the number of students in his school.
Wow.
All autistic. And all of them, their math scores. Now, autism runs the range. But all of their students are performing at average or above average when one compares them with the international norm. That's the answer to the question. So that what we have to do, and we recognize that there are challenges. I'm in special ed, so I know firsthand. But again, you work with the child as you can using the approach. You see, we focus too much on the abstract when we need to focus on the concrete. And for some children, they will stay at that level, move slowly to the pictorial and then to the abstract. We tend to begin most of the time with the abstract, and so we prevent the child from having the kind of understanding that he or she can. So yes, we have a couple of teachers there at the workshop who are in the special ed sector, and they too have found it very useful.
I wish I had more time to delve deeper into this, honestly, because I have a godson who's Downs. And so the opportunities for him are what I'm always searching for, so that he's not left behind. And that I'd like to explore at some future day. Please make your number available to my producers so we can talk a lot more about that.
Definitely.
But you know, Maureen Pollard, Kits Cadet, Dr. Shiaka Drakes, thank you so much for coming in as the Methodist Church continues its mission to empower, to make a difference, to connect real Christ work with real living work. And so I really want to continue to commend you on this, and I really hope that it really works. And I want a follow-up report. That is now your charge, okay? I need a follow-up report. Thank you so much indeed. All the best.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Morning Barbados continues right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
19 now to 7 o'clock as we turn our attention to an upcoming activity that's happening on Barrow Day, which is Tuesday coming, January the 21st. And so joining us this morning to look at that activity at the Light Airplane Club is Kareen Small. She is the Young Eagles coordinator. Good morning.
Good morning.
And with her, Stefan Brooks. He's the chairman of activities. Welcome, both of you.
Morning.
Now, we know the Right Excellent Errol Walton Barrow had a passion for the skies. He had a passion for just exploring new horizons, so to speak. And so that's what you seek to continue, right?
Yes, please. You will continue on the legacy left by the Honorable Errol Walton Barrow.
How is that? Is that a challenge, or how is that for you to be able to continue that legacy?
It's not been a challenge for us. We are enthusiastic about what he has left for us, and we only want to make sure that at all points we do right by him.
Are you seeing a number of young people wanting to explore the goings on at the Light Airplane Club?
Oh, definitely. Last year we restarted our Young Eagles program around May, and we started with a cohort of about 20. Before the end of the year, we were up to about just almost 30, and right now the applications are coming in for this year because we're restarting the Saturday right after Barrow Day.
What's that age cohort for the Young Eagles?
We cater to 7 to 17-year-olds. Yes.
Yeah. So is there someone for my age, which is old?
Well, you can join the Flight Training Institute and learn to become a pilot.
Okay. How difficult or easy is it?
Well, my daughter is studying it, and she said it's not very difficult at all. You have to be enthusiastic and willing to learn. Make sure that you keep up with your studies. It's not very intense or anything like that. It's a professional designation, not an academic one. And once you keep up with what you have to do, the skies are yours on the mornings to take flight.
No pun intended. And so, Stefan, I'm sure this is the kind of conversation that will ensue on Tuesday when everyone comes to the Light Airplane Club. So talk to me about what one can expect on Barrow Day, Tuesday the 21st.
Well, we plan to, first of all, it's actually a family event. We're inviting all the families, persons that are interested in aviation to come out. We'll be having various activities for the children and for the adults. In the position, I have listened, and sometimes, the parents will be there, so what is there for the parents, right?
Yes.
So we're trying to do it holistically. Jumping tanks for the children, few giveaways for the adults. As I said, it is a family event, so we have various activities. I won't share them right now as yet because you have to come to see it.
But I want you to get me to come to see it. So, because you said in the past you've heard the question, what is there for adults?
Okay, so what I will say is that we have, you know, when you hear about aviation, there's a lure to it. There's speed, there's a bit of fascination to it. So we plan to bring persons that are having cars and, you know, have an interest in cars as well. I also want to say that we plan to bring Courtesy and also Answer Motors. They're actually going to be there. They're going to be doing a promotional event too as well. You can come there, see the cars. Based on the personnel there, they would you know, take you for a few test drives and stuff like that. A few giveaways we have from our sponsors. Dinners for two, as far as I can remember. And other things.
And other things, other winnings, indeed. Other winnings, so location. Where is the activity?
At the South Ramp at the Grantley Adams International Airport, which is where our...
aeronautical terms. I don't know where is the South Ramp.
Right, which is opposite the Defense Force.
Right, so you drive around the back of the airport?
Right down to the back. So arguably the best seats in the house to see the planes land and take
that
off.
Area.
Yes.
Right. That's not being biased.
Not being biased, of course.
So that's where we come on Tuesday.
Yes.
From what time to what time?
We are open from 10 a.m. and we are going to close off at 7 p.m.
And usually it is a very well supported activity.
It is. It's a lot of fun and stuff like that.
Are you doing flights as well?
Of course, we do have our introductory flights on that day, yes.
This is to experience the flying or to pilot the aircraft?
It would be pseudo.
Okay, because I don't mind sitting in the controls for just a moment.
You
it
are
won't
going
crash.
to be. It wouldn't.
Trust me.
It wouldn't. Our pilot, our flight instructors will be there with you. They're going to make sure that they don't crash.
Is there cost to this?
Yes, the cost is $155 adult and $130
That's
for
not
children.
$1.55.
$155 and $130 for
Because I
children.
want to make sure people walk with the money.
Yes.
So that they can have this on. But would you be able to take cards?
Yes, we do.
Okay, good. So even if you didn't walk with the cash, you can come with your card.
Yes.
And you can actually have that experience of a lifetime, literally.
Yes.
Because we all love to see aircrafts. We all dream to sit in the cockpit. We want to experience what pilots and other people experience. And so this is an opportunity on Tuesday for you to be able to do so. And while being there experiencing it, you get to find out more about how you can yourself pilot an aircraft.
Yes, we will be on the microphone. I'll be on the microphone. Stefan is be on the microphone to let people know we're not only telling them what planes are landing, what types and stuff. It's a whole educational experience and stuff as well. And yes, they will be able, well, one of the things they will get to know obviously is if you're going to be able to keep the food down when you go up in the aircraft.
You know, she leaned into me to tell me that, so I let forward to listen to me. I was like, "God, it's just a secret here," but to tell me to keep the food down.
Yes, very
all right.
important.
But it's all right. I mean, who gets air sick? I don't.
I do.
You do?
Yes. There are some pilots that do get air sick.
Okay.
So
you're rather unusual.
Yes, and so it's not a deterrent. You just need to know then what medications you would need to take.
Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of people have this misinterpretation that, you know, things like wearing glasses, you can't become a pilot. That's not true. Age limit, that's not true. There aren't many limitations on you becoming a pilot.
Good. So all of those things you will debunk on Tuesday.
Yes, we
when
will.
We all come to the South Ramp.
The South Ramp.
I learned it now, boy. The South Ramp. On the other side, the lookout points for the airplanes as you come up to the Grantley Adams International Airport. That's where the Barbados Light Airplane Club is.
Yes.
And so the club, membership to the club, just talk to me a little bit about that.
Okay, well, we have different types of membership. We have a fly-in membership, which is $400 annually. The non-fly-in members are $200 annually. These memberships, there are different ratings, allow you different things. And then the Young Eagles program, which is $175. There's an application fee that you will pay one time. And then the Flight Training Institute, which you go to ftibarbados.com and find more information on that.
FTIbarbados.com.
Yes,
Get more
and
information.
if you want even more information, you can email our operations manager, Faye Wickham, at iflybarbados@gmail.com.
Easy. iflybarbados@gmail.
Yes.
And so, Stefan, remind of the time to get to the Light Airplane Club to experience all of this on Tuesday.
10 a.m. we start and we finish, well, I know Kareem said 7 o'clock, but because the sun is setting so early and so fast, everything, it might be a little earlier, but we finish at 7 o'clock p.m.
Listen, you're going to have the time of your life, Barbados, for real. On Tuesday, the 21st of January, the day we celebrate the Right Excellent Arrow Walton Barrow Day, we're going to the Light Airplane Club right there by the Grantley Adams International Airport to experience what he experienced as well, but to introduce more of our young people to the whole act of flying. That's going to be a great day. Thank you both, Karine and Stefan, for joining us this morning. I wish you the very best.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We're coming right back after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're now 8 minutes to go to the hour of 7 o'clock. Don't forget, I have a question out there for you. If someone drives up in a car, gives you an envelope with $100,000 in it and drives off, what will you do? Tell me what your conscience tells you to do with it. So you can also go on to our social media and you can comment there as well. We'll be able to share with you what some people are thinking and saying about that as well. So get cracking. I can't wait to tell people what you're talking about. All right, let's turn our attention to upcoming activity. It's a concert, as a matter of fact. The concert is called I Believe. And sitting with me is the Reverend John Yard. Next to him is Joel Mann. And these are two outstanding Barbadian personalities. They almost go with, I could even say John and Joel. Everyone knows exactly just by the first name, and you know you're a star when they call you by the first name, John. Right, John?
Yeah, I hear you.
Is it true? You're with the Hope Church.
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about why this concert.
So, I Believe is the theme of the concert. And I don't think there are many things that gather people and inspire people, much like how music does. Sports does as well. But music has a really, really powerful way of gathering people and inspiring them. And that's what we want to do. As a Community Hope Church, we exist to be voices of hope, to be models of Jesus' love, and to be agents of change. And we want to engage the culture around us. And one of the ways, our ears are very, very low to the ground. Mm-hmm. We pay very much close attention, and we've been realizing, you know what? Persons are losing hope. Persons are abandoning their dreams and their desires. Persons are becoming so caught up in, can I say, the rat race of life, in the tensions and stressors of life. And we thought, you know what? Let's do something that reminds persons of their dreams and visions. Now, it's the top of the year. We are already talking about our aspirations and our dreams, and all of the vision board parties are taking place. Yes. And we thought, you know what? Let's come into the midst of that and make a statement of faith. I believe God. I believe that my dreams, my desires are possible, and it's my hope as a community that we amp up faith Now, we're using music to do that, and we found some talents that they are already embodying that. Sherry Gardner from next door in Trinidad and Tobago, there's a song, Pearson, that last year that came out after 40 years of music and ministry. Sharon dropped a song at the beginning of the year last year. He said, something good is going to happen this year.
Wow.
And he said, blessings are going to find me here. He said,
money will find me here.
Just for money will find me here. But no, he goes on and there is a joins the conversation of belief, of daring to challenge one to envision their life, but envision it in a context that says something good, hope. And as a community at Hope Church, that's what we want to lend ourselves to. Tim Godfrey dropped what I consider to be one of the biggest songs we've heard in such a long time, one of the leading voices in Afro gospel, where he said, I have a very big God, blowing up all across TikTok. We see personalities from every walk of life participating in the dance and loving the song. And we thought, you know what, these are the guys that we want to who we believe will help us to facilitate the message. I said to someone, the artists are secondary to the vision that we have of impact.
Your belief is a launch pad for your next action, whatever that action might be. And so you're operating from a space of truth as you know it. And so this concert is pitched at who? The believer or the one who's also the one who's seeking a space in which to believe?
I'll let Joel take this one.
Honestly,
oh man,
sorry, man.
Joel take that one.
Honestly, it's a space for everybody.
Yes.
And it's so interesting you asked that question, because I actually had a friend who messaged me and said she's not sure, if she, how to feel comfortable in a gospel concert. I said, to be honest, right? It's just music without cursing. Like, that's it, That was my simplest definition of what it is. But it's a space that anybody from any walk of life can come into and just simply enjoy, because it's a case of, it's just positive lyrics. That is literally all it is. So it's, if you want something good for yourself, if you simply want to say, I want to be in a space where other persons around me simply want something good for themselves as well, come and join. So don't think that you need to have been saved for the last 10, 15 years to have a relationship with God. Right. Like, I could personally say that I only recently started going back to church. So I myself have not gone to a gospel concert in years, but I know that I'm going to go and I'm going to have myself an absolute blast. You could jump, you could sing, you could wave, you're riding, you could fly, you could sweat. And you're going to have a good time. Like I say, all it is the lyrics to the music, and all the lyrics simply inspire and tell you that what you want for yourself is possible and that God will be in that as well. So honestly, it's a space that anybody, whether old, young, tooth to toothless, can find themselves having an absolute blast.
I'm going to use that. Tooth to toothless. I like that. I'm going to hold on to that.
Person say told that he can handle it.
He can handle it, clearly. Yeah. Now, I could hear the audience asking, when is it? Where is it? Who answers that?
January 26th at the gymnasium, the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium. Right. Doors open at 4:30.
That's a Sunday.
That's a Sunday, yes. Doors open at 4:30. We kick off at 6 o'clock. And what I think is important for persons to be there at the opening, not just the beginning of the show, is because, again, we are curating an experience to really facilitate the impact we want to have.
Interesting.
So down to the artists, but also we are taking time to create a welcome experience. And someone has already jumped on board.
Yeah, we actually have sponsors to come on board for that welcome experience. So, like I said, if you think about what you normally get during Cropover, etc., you're going to get that here at, I believe, the concert as well. So we have some sampling stations whereby every single patron between 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. can enjoy free samples, compliments of Western Wholesale and Atlantic Marketing, compliments of Roberts Manufacturing and Pine Hill as well. So we got some best dressed wings. So, if you come a little hungry to the event at 4:35, you can enjoy a little best dressed wing, lick your lips and, have a good time. So between 4:30 to 5:30 p.m., there's a welcome experience that every single patron, whether or not you had your early bird ticket, whether or not you had your general, or you're paying at the door, as long as you're there between 4:30 and 5:30, you can enjoy that and then head into the event. And then you have the vision board as well, whereby I literally saw the design for it yesterday. Like, come in and put whatever you're believing for your year, write it on it, and at some stage during the event, Pastor John puts back on his pastoral hat, and we can pray over that and believe that, you know what? it will come to pass in 2025.
I'm going to come to the who's on the stage in a minute, John, but you mentioned early bird, those kinds of tickets. So talk to me about ticket pricing and ticket locations where we can actually get our tickets.
All right, so the early bird done fly away, gone long time. Yeah, early bird, all gone. Right now, tickets are general tickets at $75, and at the door it is $90. Now the box offices, I got lucky in the phone because I got enough.
That's all right.
I like to say online.
But we put stuff on our screen as well.
Yeah,
also
online
watching,
and inline. Yeah, so online you can head to ticketnation.bb, and inline now, because you know some people like the physical thing.
Yes.
Box offices, CS Pharmacy, Nation Fontebelle, Starcom River Road, New Look Company, Roebuck Street, Empowered in Sky Mall, Trade Class Boutique in Sheraton Mall, A&B Music Supplies in Wildy, Visual Oasis 6 Roads, Codrington Estates Development Company Limited in St. John, and if you're in the north, Lotta Booth, Spikestown opposite the bus terminal. So they ain't got a place that you can miss.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Now the who's on stage, John.
So the who's on stage, I've already told you about Tim Godfrey, and I've shared with you Sherwin Gardner. I'm going to be wearing 2 caps that night as Pastor John and as John Yard, the artist.
We had to force
And so, yes, they most definitely did. I was going to enjoy the night like everyone else, but they said you don't get to do that. You're working too. But no, I'm going to be there. Nisha Woods is going to be there.
Yes.
We also have Sherry Ann Mont, and then there are a few other friends who will be joining us throughout the night.
It's going to be an awesome time indeed. The Wilde Gymnasium next week Sunday.
Next week Sunday.
From 4:30. Be there for the early experience, really, as you sample and really fill your stomach, because you're going to be filled with the Holy Ghost a little later on. And that good music, good lyrics without cursing in the gymnasium, as Joel said. And get your ticket fast. The early birds are all gone, but you can come with your faith. You can come prepared to receive. And I believe it's going to be quite an awesome experience. On the 26th of January, the Wilde Gymnasium is where everyone is going to be, because all of these artists who you're seeing on your screen are all excellent in their rendition. They're all deep in their faith, and they're all ready to minister to you. You don't have to walk away necessarily feeling that you've just become a Christian, but you can begin the journey. And that's what this experience, I believe, would allow you to be able to do as well. John Yard, Pastor John Yard, Reverend John Yard, Joel Manning, PR, marketing, commentator, everything. Just a clown when he's ready.
You better believe it.
Thank you so much. I want to wish you
Kristen,
well.
thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Something tells me this is going to be awesome.
Yeah, we bringing back your ticket, by the way.
Good.
Yeah.
Matter fixed. Matter fixed. One time. See how I sold myself? Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you all the best.
Thank
indeed.
you. Have a good day.
All right. Morning Barbados continues after this break with a look at the news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison Scale.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Let's take a look at the news now at this hour. Government's substance abuse watchdog continues to keep a close eye on the increased use of non-traditional drugs. The NCSA says meth is among those non-traditional drugs being watched as they prepare to embark on a national household survey to get a true picture of the situation on the ground. Anesta Henry reports.
More Barbadians are presenting themselves to treatment facilities for non-traditional substances or drugs that are new to the island. Deputy Manager of the National Council on Substance Abuse, Troy Wickham, says the Barbados Drug Information Network has been showing this slight diversification as it relates to the local drug scene for the past 7 years. Speaking to CBC News at the NCSA's Open Day to commemorate Drug Awareness Month, Mr. Wickham said the council is now planning a national household survey to get an update on the prevalence of substance abuse.
In 2023, I can say that the NCSA issued 2 alerts coming out of our early warning system. Is a mechanism designed to disseminate information rapidly on what we call new psychotic substances, and we have recognized that we have methamphetamine on island, ecstasy on island, and we had a seizure of what we call synthetic cannabinoids. And it's important for us to share this information with the wider Barbados, because the harms associated with using these non-traditional substances are vast and they're highly addictive. So
Mr. Wickham says young males under age 40 are going to treatment facilities, and they're also coming into contact with the criminal justice system for drug-related offenses.
I can say that more women are involved in trafficking of drugs, period. Women, but we are concerned especially about young males using substances and presenting themselves for treatment.
Director of Clinical Services at the Substance Abuse Foundation, Alison Gotip, shares what is happening at Verdun and Marina House.
What we've seen in the last couple of years concerning is that there's been an increase in non-traditional substance use. When persons do seek treatment with us, we actually have a 26-panel drug test, and some of that is coming up with some alarming information on non-traditional substances.
The NCSA continues to work with organizations such as the Substance Abuse Foundation to fight against drug abuse on the island. The Open Day, which involved the sharing of information, is one such initiative. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
Now, in light of recent robberies and shooting incidents, PSV operators are thinking about their own safety. The Alliance Owners of Public Transport is especially concerned and is calling on members to install cameras in all PSVs and also implement other measures to protect workers. Director of Communication and Public Affairs Mark Haynes says security systems are costly but necessary and worthwhile. He notes it is not fair that after working long hours, PSV operators are robbed of their earnings.
So I think it's imperative that the owners ensure that their vehicles are affixed with the requisite cameras, so that anyone who gets on the buses and wants to do anything wrong or does anything wrong, the camera you can get footage, so when you call the police, you can, at least that helps in the process of apprehending those persons who seek to rob the vehicles. Because when there's cash, there's the exposure for persons to be robbed, for a van to be hijacked, because people have the perception there's a lot of money, so let us take this man now. But in the whole process of doing that, there can cause the commuters in the vehicles, cause their life to be imperiled by this kind of silly act.
Mr. Haynes says commuters must also be vigilant and look out for suspicious behaviors on PSVs. He adds that the PSV umbrella body is awaiting the introduction of the proposed cashless payment system.
Now, when that comes, there will be no cash. So therefore, then, committing the robbery may be very slim, or might be unanimously reduced, because there's no cash. There's not the feeling to take people's money. But we have to work with what we have with now to try to mitigate against theft in all forms.
Now, Dream Mass Kadooment Band is the newest kid on the block and the first out of the blocks ahead of this year's Cropover Festival. An invitation was extended to Barbadians for first dibs at being a dream doll or dream dawn if they're dare to dream. And one government senator says this type of activity represents some of the myriad opportunities government is employing to ensuring young people showcase their talent. The media got a sneak peek of the costumes set to launch on February the 15th. Rachel Agard has this report.
Minister in the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Investment, Senator Chad Blackman, says Dream Mass's Kadooment Band launch is a tremendous effort and gives kudos to management for being first on this year's stage. And he says with We Gathering 2025 being the hallmark of this year, those within the diaspora should use the initiative as a reason to come long home.
When you look further, Cropover, of course, is very important to Barbados, both from a cultural point of view, both from an economic point of view. And this really is the hallmark of who we are as a people in terms of our culture. And for them to know Christmas is gone and New Year's is gone, but yet within, 14 days of the year now starting, they're now saying to the country, here's where we are. It's a fantastic effort, and they must be commended for it.
Senator Blackman adds that the younger generation needs opportunities to hone their craft and notes the government continues to work hand in hand with the island's ecosystem. He says, based on what he has been hearing on the ground, the young people are ready to contribute to the island's economy.
We live in a country that has a lot of talent, has a lot of potential, and we are starting to see significant levels of growth to take place now. We must now connect all of these areas to ensure that young people can use their talents that God has given them to manifest it in the economy in different ways. So whether you're a designer, you're a fashion, an artist, singing, whether you're a producer, you name it, you must now be able to see Barbados and the region, first of all, as your marketplace. And why do I say the region? We're part of the single market in economy. And in every single country in the Caribbean, there are carnivals, there are festivals, there's music. You have soca, you have dancehall. And we must now leverage the talents that young people have and not just think in terms of 166 square miles. Why? Because when you do that, you now expand the opportunity pool for young people in Barbados and around the region.
Commercial manager at Stansfeld Scott, Richard Rollocks, who is also a part of Dream Mass, promises vibes with a new band, which he says has an old soul.
When we say dare to dream, we're speaking about pushing boundaries. We're speaking about imagining yourself in an atmosphere in a band that delivers on all the aspects of what Cropover should be. So we're talking about vibes, we're talking about quality costumes, we are speaking about quality service, premium drinks on the road, having a good time. We plan to put Barbados on the map when it comes to having vibes for Cropover 2025.
He's inviting all and sundry to come out and join Eden, which he says has a heavy CARICOM influence. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
That ends our news until now. We'll have more news on TV8 at 12 noon in CBC Newsday. We're coming back in a minute.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 7-8.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it. Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
13 minutes now after 7 o'clock Barbados time. We're going to the United Kingdom. Their time, heaven knows what it is. But we're connecting with a woman who worked at the BBC, and she's decided one day, you know what, I'm done with that. After 10 years, I'm going to be doing this, because this is what I want to do. Her name is Silvano Griffith Francis. Silvano, good morning to you. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
You are very welcome. Listen, why did you leave the BBC to follow your passion?
Well, I think you've said it there. It's my passion. It's something I have always wanted to do from a child. I think I started writing from the time I was about 7, 8 years old, started writing short stories. And I knew that at some point that this was what I wanted to do with my life.
Someone would say, perhaps your parents would say, she's always been a talker, she's always been a dreamer, she's always been that kind of girl who just dabbles in everything, has an opinion on everything, right?
Definitely the bit about talking, because I remember as a child, I used to get paid to stop talking, and now I get paid to talk. So I just think that that's quite funny. It just goes to show when something's in you, Pierce, it's in you, yes?
I want to talk a little bit about that transition from the steady job at the BBC to following your purpose, your passion. And in that transition, the level of fear, concern, or was it joy? Was it easy for you to make that transition?
It was a little bit fearful at first, if I'm being honest. For 10 years, I'd had a very secure job. I'd had a paycheck coming in once a month, and I was going into something new. But I had a lot of support from my family and people around me, which is always helpful, and which is always helpful. It's great. And it wasn't something I just woke up and decided to do. It was something I had thought about for a few years and put preparation in place. So from that point of view, it wasn't too scary, but there was that moment when I walked in to see my boss and just handed over my letter of resignation. Wow. And I was like, it's done now.
And so it's time now. You've birthed quite a number of little babies. I can see just over your left shoulder there. The Remembrance Poppy, the Bunny and the Cross. It looks like the Father's Day mug, the Nativity Sparkle, the Hallelujah Pumpkin. And so you've gone into writing books. And so from where do you pull your inspiration to write these books?
Well, it's funny with these children's books, actually, because I would say it's something I fell into accidentally. I never saw myself as a children's writer per se, but I got commissioned because before I was writing books, I was writing plays for the stage, and then I was writing film scripts and producing those as well. And I got commissioned by a church who said to me, we're putting on an Easter event, and I want you to write a play aimed at Easter for people who've never heard the story of Jesus and the cross. And I need it to be family friendly. And if you know anything about the Easter story, it doesn't initially strike you as family friendly. So I came up with a concept for a play called The Bunny and the Cross. And it was about the cross of Jesus Christ and the Easter Bunny having it off, having a battle to see who was the true hero of Easter. And it was quite comical, but it was also serious. And it was really, really well received. And what kind of surprised me was there were people who came up to me afterwards, adults and kids alike, who said, well, we'd never heard about the Easter story. We didn't know about the crucifixion of Christ. And I was like, really? We are in the UK. It's meant to be a Christian country.
Yes.
But anyway, I saw an opportunity there, and if an opportunity ever presents itself, I'm like, yes, grab hold of it. So I saw an opportunity to reach children with creative stories that just explained a little bit more about the Christian faith. And there's so many occasions throughout the year to target that sort of market. So we have the Bunny and the Cross at Easter. And then at Christmas, she meets the Nativity Star, which was the star that was there the night Jesus was born. And the star is able to share the story of Jesus's birth. And then we have the Father's Day mug, where she finds out about her Heavenly Father. We have the Hallelujah Pumpkin, where she's all excited about Halloween. And then she realizes that there are some kids who don't celebrate Halloween. And she gets the opportunity to find out a little bit more about why. And then we have the Remembrance Poppy, where she finds out about, the World War II soldiers and the sacrifice that they made in their lives. And then she also finds out about the greatest sacrifice ever made for mankind, and that was the sacrifice that Jesus made. And so we currently have 5 books in the series. We have another one coming out next month, another one in March, and then the final one will come out towards the end of the year. And I think your viewers might be interested in that one, because that one will feature Barbados. So watch this space.
Watch this space indeed. When you're imagining your storyline, do you see color? Because I'm looking at the images that you've used on the front of your books, and they're all people of color. Do you see color, or are you just writing a story that any nationality, any color can read?
Well, the reason why I went for a little black girl in this series is because I'm based in the UK, and at the moment, there is still not enough representation, I believe, when it comes to Black people, when it comes to Black people being the star and being the hero. And what I wanted was for little Black children to see themselves in a positive light, to see that they could actually be the star of the books. They could be the star of the story and not just an additional character that was added on. And so that's why I went for this little girl. But she has, in the book, she has friends who are from all different cultures. Her closest friend is from a Chinese background. And so the book is really accessible to kids from any culture, really, and not just for Christian children, but children who may not understand a lot about the Christian faith as well. They get to hear a story in a creative and an exciting way.
But you live in a cosmopolitan country, so battling your space within everyone else who is writing so that your books are seen, read, and purchased. How easy has it been for you to market your literary works so that people actually get involved and turn the pages and buy it?
Well, as you say, the market is quite saturated, especially when it comes to writing. But for me, I've been very clear on who my audience is. And I think for any writer, if you can be clear at the beginning of your process as to who you are writing for, and not just who you're writing for, but why you're writing it, I believe that helps a lot with the marketing. So I think I've found a couple of little niches where it works quite well in getting the story out there. I find that if I'm doing events in person, there's a lot more interest once people hear about the books and they understand the vision behind the books. They're receptive to it. I still haven't quite worked out the whole Amazon thing yet. You know, the sales are there. They're not as great as I would like them to be, but it is, you know, it is a very busy marketplace. But when I think about, I started this, so the first book came out in 2022 in this series. And so it's not really that long ago. But when I think about the progress they have made over the past couple of years, then yes, I'm definitely pleased with that.
I'd like to learn from your process for just a moment, because inspiration hits us when inspiration hits us. There's no timeline on that. Do you go from, I'm going to write this book from first chapter to last chapter, or as you're going, other stories fall into your thinking, and so you stop one to write another and then you come back? How does it work for you?
Well, it works for me. I think I try as much as possible to stay focused on the one idea. Okay. But like you say, you can't tell when an idea is going to hit you. And so I have a notebook where I capture those ideas, and I try not to get too distracted. So if I'm working on a specific book, a specific title, that's what I'm working on. But as the ideas might pop into my head, I think it's important to write those down and have them, because I don't know about you, but when an idea first comes to me, it's at its clearest. And so if I try to remember a week or 2 weeks later what the idea was a week ago, it's a bit faint and it's not as vivid. And so I just capture that, write it down. I've got it there. I park it to the side, and I know when I'm finished with what I'm working on now, I can come back to that at a later date.
Sounds to me as though you do masterclasses. So do you do masterclasses? And so far, how has that been?
I do masterclasses, and in fact, my very first masterclass was launched last year in Barbados.
Really?
I did it for the first time in Barbados. Yes, I did, and it was only a small one. I think we had about 10 participants or so, but I've rolled out some more in the UK since. And it's a whole day event where we come together and we look at the entire writing process. So we start with the beginning, how to conceive your ideas, and some of the very important things to think about at the very start of your journey, which will make the entire process and the end a lot easier. We look at how to get your inspiration. We look at how to motivate yourself to write, how to find time to write. And once we've finished with that, we go on to like the different genres of writing, etc. Then we look at publishing. And I think, you know, the marketplace has really, really opened up for writers. There was a time when you had to wait for the large publishers, the Penguins and the HarperCollins and those sort of people to get your hold of your work. And if they were interested, there was no marketplace. But now we have the power of self-marketing, of self-publishing, I beg your pardon. And if it's done well, it can be really, really successful. So we look at that, we unpack the advantages and disadvantages, because it's not all smooth sailing. So we look at the advantages and the disadvantages of self-publishing and traditional publishing. Right. And then when all that's finished, we finish off by looking at marketing. because too many writers write their book and they think, right, I've exerted myself, I've exhausted myself with the writing process, and that's it. And they step away, and then when the books don't sell, they become a little bit disappointed and think no one's interested, when really they haven't done the work needed for the marketing. So we do have a section on that as well.
And that's so good to hear from you, because I'm also watching what's behind you, which is your website, svgproductions.co.uk. Can we go there to learn more from you about what to do, or what's the website about?
So this website is my production company. So as I said earlier, I started by writing and producing plays, and then I went into doing a few full-length movies. So this is all the stage plays I've written and produced, and I take commissions now for writing plays. I just think it's a really good idea for organizations to get an idea across as well, doing it a little bit creatively through drama. But for my website on writing, that's silvanogriffith.co.uk, and on there you can see a stack of books, and you can see when I've got my master classes going. And I also did one online towards the end of last year as well, so for people who can't actually make it to the various locations where I'm doing them, there will be another online masterclass later this year. So if people are interested in writing their own books, they can go there.
That's fantastic. We're showing the folks on our screens right now. You can see for yourself the websites that Silvano was just talking about. Now, I asked my producer when she shared with me that you were the guest today about your last name, Griffith. Are you in any way connected with Griffiths in Barbados?
Yes, I is a Bajan. So
I love it. I love it. I love it. Say it again. Say it again.
Oh, I is a Bajan. So the Griffith name is my father's name. And my parents hail from Christchurch in Barbados. I myself was actually born in the UK, but I did go to school in Barbados. I had the privilege of going to the best school on the island.
Which is?
And well, I've just said, well, actually, no. It was the best school back then. I don't know about now, but Christchurch Foundation.
Okay, I'll forgive you. It's not Coleridge and Parry, but I'll forgive you. That's all right. That's not your fault. But, you know, it is so good to know that our Bajans everywhere are doing some fine work, as you are, Silvano. And so I commend you. And I encourage people to go to your website to not just see what you've produced, but to purchase what you've produced as well, and to see other opportunities to learn from you. And it's good that you're giving back in the way that you are giving back. Silvano Griffith Francis, an author, actress, speaker, all-around great woman. Thank you very much. You're very welcome. Have a good day. Thank you. Mornin Barbados is coming right back after this.
My friend, you don't plan to get it. Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
28 minutes now after 7 o'clock as we turn our attention now to some activity. We're talking with the CW Foundation, the Charles Walcott Foundation, I call it, Inc. And joining me right now is the man himself, Charles Walcott, and with him is Micah Shepherd. the biblical name. Are you in any? Do you know have you been able to look at Micah in the Bible and understand who you've been named after?
Yes, sir.
So what have you learned?
Prophet, and his name means who's like Jehovah.
And how do you live your life in accordance?
Well, as close as possible to what I do.
You're saying it because you're on TV, right? No. That's all right, man. That's all right. So, Charles, here we are now. And coming up next week is another one of the classics, the Joseph Payne Classics. And I know you've been able over the years, and how many years, by the way, have you been doing this?
We are celebrating our 15th anniversary this year.
Congratulations. You know, it's as if it's just gone like that.
Correct.
Very, very quickly. But you've been able to enhance and uplift the field events in particular. Right. So when is this upcoming classic and what can we expect?
Right. So we start next Friday at the Cordian Parish School. So we lead off with the javelin throwers and the discus throwers because we can't do those events at the Usain Bolt Sports Complex. And then on Saturday 25th, we go to the Usain Bolt Sports Complex for a full track and field program.
So it's a two-day
event.
So on the 24th, we are at Cordian Parish School.
At 6 o'clock under the lights.
Okay, cool. Under the lights. So we don't have big bright lights up there. Serious? I have not been there. I am intended to go there very soon, but I'm glad to know that we now have the lights of field lit to the point where we can
those are imported lights, so those are not permanent.
That's all right. Yeah. We got it lit. And so we're going to be doing that. So we're doing some javelin throwing. What else?
And discus. Those two events, all age categories.
And Mike, that's your specialty, javelin.
Yeah, javelin's my specialty, yeah. I would have started it when I was in fourth form. I was a cricket player before. I always had quite a whippy arm, and I was pretty happy to get my hands on the javelin. Saw it happening with the bigger boys in the school, college, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, saw it happening with the bigger boys, and I really wanted to get my hand on it, but I needed to be old enough first. And once I finally got it in my hands, and the rest is history, really, pretty much.
You know, when we watch the Olympics, we see some massive men throw javelin.
Yeah.
We look at you, and we don't see this massive man in front of us to throw javelin.
I like to refer to myself as the giant killer because I'm usually the smallest in the crowd, but I usually prevail at the end of it. But with that being said, if we look at the Olympic or the world record holder, he was quite a small person in comparison, 5'10", 175. So in comparison to what we see now, I'm still pretty much up there, and I still believe in myself that much.
Teach us a skill, because it's not as simple as just run and throw. Well, it's a lot more to it than that.
Well, for me, for right now, it is. But in the beginning, it wasn't. As I said, I had quite a whippy arm in the beginning. So that was basically me trying to translate throwing a ball into throwing now a 6.5 foot spear. And the journey was not easy for me to stand here. So I sit here, and say that would be a lie. But it does take a lot of effort and a lot of training and a lot of discipline. 5 days a week, 2 to 3 hours of training, and trusting the coach. I think that was the hardest part, I find.
Being able to shoulder pain?
Well, hey, I will be honest with you. Like, the shoulder pain is workable because at least you know it can be fixed. But then it's like, can you really release your dreams into another person's hands and hope that they believe in them the same way you do? So believing in the coach was by far one of the hardest things.
Is it only mental prowess that helps to throw farther, or is it another technique that you have to employ?
I like to focus mostly on the mental prowess. Why? Because I believe if you want it, you can achieve it. And I'm not just saying that, I mean like anything there is out there, like there are manuals for almost everything. Somebody's an expertise in something. So if you really want it and you really want to learn it, you got to put in that mental, must have that mental fortitude to get it done.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
And so, Charles, I deliberately spent some time with Mike on this because I want people to appreciate what happens when they come on January the 24th to see the javelin throwers and the shot putters. It is not as easy as you think. And so you must come to celebrate the fact that these athletes have been able to do something that's really superhuman.
Yeah. I mean, I always say to people, the field events is very technical. It takes a special person to be able to do field events, and especially the javelin. I always say to Micah and his coach, to me, the javelin is the most difficult event.
Because yours is different.
But they will argue that discus is perhaps the most difficult to learn because you're turning and trying to deliver implement into the sector. So we focus on the field events. That's the area that we are trying to develop so that we create equal opportunity in the competition area and for the sport as a whole. And I want to see, the focus is really for us to have a field event athlete, whether it's a javelin thrower, a shot putter, discus thrower, a jumper at the Olympics.
Stand on the podium like anybody else.
I know Micah is desirous of doing that.
Good.
And we want to create the platform and create the support. Having Mike here today, we are saying that we want to provide more support to our field event athletes.
Right.
Well, the Joseph P. Memorial Classic is a full track and field championship. On the 2 days, we want to give visibility and focus to the field event athletes so they get the spotlight.
Right. So on the 24th at Coleridge and Parry School, under the lights, starting at 6 o'clock.
That's correct.
Now, borders in terms of controlling, and is there fee? That's what I'm asking about, really.
Well, the first event at CP is free to the public.
Right. So Friday the 24th.
They can come and enjoy. So we will give the guidelines for patrons as to where they can go and sit and so on. We will design those areas, and they get a chance to have a close up enough, safe to see the discus throwers and the javelin throwers in action. I'm pretty sure they will throw it from one end to the field to the other. So that creates the excitement. Seeing that spear go through the air, or the discus goes through the air, going through the air, and so we will give we'll do our opening ceremony.
Right.
Friday night at 6 o'clock at the Coleridge and Parry School. And we will give the field event athletes that spotlight and visibility to open up the event. And then you join us again on Saturday at the Usain Bolt Sports Complex at 4 o'clock. We have a road race as well, 5K road race, which will start in the Usain Bolt Sports Complex. And they go out on the road and they come back and finish inside the stadium.
And lap.
Yeah,
take a lap. That's right. So Friday, 6 o'clock, Coleridge and Parry School. That's the 24th, by the way, folks. So get tied up. It's not this Friday. It's next Friday, the 24th, 6 o'clock at CP. Okay. And I by now you all know where CP is. If you don't, give Roel Ford, who's my technical director, a call. He will direct you. He'll be there as well. And so you'll be putting up more information. And where can we get this information when you put it up, by the way, about how to enter and those kinds of things?
Right. So we've circulated a file to all the clubs and the schools and so on to submit their entries. So the entries are coming in. Actually, so far we have Performers Track Club, Elite Distance, BT Track, UAC, Rising Stars, Pacers Track Club, Talons, Extreme Velocity. We have a team from St. Lucia, the Albaline Wildcats Track and Field Athletics Club. They're going to join us here. So we're going to have some overseas competition. What's happening here.
You're growing, Charles.
We have the Coleridge and Parry School, of course. That's the alma mater of our event patron. And the St. Michael School. So those are some of the athletes who have submitted entries. I know there are more to come.
Right.
And so we look forward to some fierce competition.
Yeah.
And we've introduced mixed relays. That has been a new attraction.
And that'll be on the Saturday at the Usain Bolt. Yes.
So you have like 1s, 2s, 4s, mixed relays.
Okay. And mixed by gender as well, or mixed by distance?
Mixed by gender.
Gender and okay, good.
Yeah. So that will create some excitement.
Yeah.
And that's growing. So. So we're going to have an exciting, so we invite the public to go out and buy the tickets.
Right.
iShop, Sheraton, Saul Warren's, Empowered and Sky Mall. The tickets are $20. And we want you to come out. This is an investment.
You've always kept it so affordable. I don't know how you're able to sustain it at such an affordable rate.
Well, we want to say thank you to our sponsors. Our sponsors allow us to, as you say, keep the event affordable and allow us to host it. So we want to say thank you to the Arts and Sports Promotion Fund, CIBC, Safe Security Consultant, Soundwave, 7 Seas, Williams Equipment, Pedialyte Sport, Glacial Ice, the Kiwanis Club Pride of Barbados, the Barbados Olympic Association, Gildan, Slam 101.1 FM,
who are they?
The Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation, Kalita Moore, our marketing consultant, and Ticket Links.
So it's going to be a real classic indeed, everybody. We've got to be there. Friday is the first event. It's at Coleridge and Parry at 6 o'clock in the evening under the lights. That's where Micah will be to throw his javelin and other competitors from all of those clubs. And also we're having a contingent coming in from St. Lucia who will be here on island to compete up with us as they upskill their athletes as well. Then on Saturday, we're moving to Usain Bolt Complex, and that event starts at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Tickets available from all of those ticket outlets. You see the information on your screen right now, but it's going to be a ding-dong battle, and it's an exciting moment. I think we all love to see athletes on the track and on the field perform, and this opportunity is afforded you next weekend, the 24th and the 25th. It's the Joseph Champagne Memorial Classic, and it's the 15th edition?
Correct, 15th anniversary.
Go. See, there we go. So that'll be brilliant. So, Micah, I wish you well.
Thank you very much.
If I could throw a javelin, I know I'll beat you, because you're tinier than me.
Well, you're welcome to come and try.
Not this year, though. And Charles, as always, it's so good to see you. Best of luck, all of this. You do great work for the development of the sports and sport in particular on the island as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Morning Barbados continues in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game with Domino's and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Oh, the drama that's coming up tonight, right here on TV8 at 8:03 p.m. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. It's the episode 2 of Carnival Catwalk. Who will be eliminated tonight? Take it all in right here on CBC TV8 at 3 minutes past 8 o'clock. Now we turn our attention to something I so admire, the fact that the My Lord's Hill community continues to connect, and over the years they continue to take on this one particular activity for a very worthy cause. And so we'll talk to them now about that. So turn attention, say good morning to Gail Gooding and to David Otsey. Welcome to Morning Barbados.
You're most welcome.
Now my production crew doesn't know this, but fellas at the back, and my producer, Gail taught Peter, who's our cameraman on the floor, at school. She tells me he was a good boy. I said to her, well, he must have changed over the years because that good boy is not here with me today. But it's good to know that, Gail. But welcome, and talk to us a little bit about why the My Lord's Hill community continues to connect in this way for this cause?
Well, we started this walk in 2016, and that was the start of some violence we started seeing around Barbados. And we want to draw to people's attention, you know, to live more in love and community. Because I myself lost my son during that course of the time. And it really hurt, and they hurt, and I said, you know, parents, families, how they actually experience it. So we want to draw people's attention to go back to more to be your brother's keeper, the community to look out for one another. So we started that walk, and we stopped when we had the COVID. It was in 2019, we had the COVID.
Yeah,
right.
2020.
So we stopped then. So we wanted, because of what we are seeing now again, we want to put this walk back into focus. We want to bring to people's attention, you need to be more out there for persons. So that's about what we're doing.
And so being able to pull this all together though, David, you know, and to get to rally the community behind you, how easy was that?
Well, you got to just keep on doing things in the community.
Yeah.
So we can't just wait till independence come up to start doing things in the community. You see the violence that's going on all across Barbados. So we just decided that we can get back the passion for peace and get things happening in the community.
I like that because you hit on the theme, passion for peace. It's a walk and a 5K run.
Yes.
Talk to me about the mechanics there, how can people register? Because it's not just for the My Lord's Hill community, is it? Or can people from all over Barbados enter this activity?
Well, people from all over Barbados can enter this walk or run. We are not registering. We just coming out as a morning vibe. You come out and you just come to the National Sports Council and we take a cool walk or cool run through the community. Passion for peace.
Passion. Have that passion. If you have the passion for peace, this event is for you. If you are sitting on the sidelines and you're now hearing about this for the first time, this event is also for you from 6 o'clock in the morning.
6 in the morning,
You meet at this National Sports Council there in My Lord's Hill, and then you take us through.
Right.
We can choose to run it, or we can choose to walk it.
Right.
It doesn't matter, and because it's not a race necessarily, is it?
No, it's just to bring an awareness of what is happening in the society and want persons to pull together more.
Talk to me about the route, because that's also important, because I know My Lord's Hill. How you know My Lord's Hill, I know the main road.
Yeah.
So for those who might be coming from wherever else and they want to be sure so they don't get lost.
Right. So what happened, we going to leave the National Sports Council and we go through Bell Tenantry. We just go through Liquid Village, My Lord's Hill, through Martini, the Ivy, back through Rowing Road, and then back to the National Sports Council. So it's a nice and easy road, and I can mark the road too.
But I know the roads. No, you call them by name. I know that road.
Nice, easy road through the community. Nice morning vibe through the community.
So there'll be markers, you said, that can help us.
There'll be markers to show, keeping people so that nobody won't get lost. Right.
And so, Gail, over the years, you know, since 2016 till now, I know you had a little break in between there. How have you seen the response to this initiative?
When we first started, it was small, but then it gradually grew. And I felt really great to see it actually growing. And I'm hoping that this year, 2025, that it will be really fantastic, really big. You know, we'll be looking maybe 2026, 2027, we involve more persons.
Yes.
But since this is the first time that we started back since the COVID, we really want persons to turn out, because as a mom and to lose a son at 32, it can be very touching. And we want persons to turn out and to be aware of what's actually happening. And remember I said I taught Peter. He's one of the, you know, one of those great fellows. And it is how you treat persons, and we want persons to be more loving. That's what we want persons to do. It can be very touching.
Take a deep breath, Gail. I got you. Yeah. So this happens on Arabaro Day, David?
Yeah, it happened on Arabaro Day, 6 o'clock in the morning, National Sports Council.
6 o'clock is the kickoff time. And so we're going through all those areas that we know. We drive past and I know, because I hear the names of the roads. I've been those roads. So I know what you're talking about. It's a good loop. And so, but it's a good exercise as well, but it's a good community activity. And because you also have the passion for peace, because we all want to maintain as peaceful a society in which to live.
Yes, we want.
Your support is so important.
Yes, we want.
Do I have to wear a specific T-shirt or anything? You just come as you want.
No, just come as you are.
Well, you know what I mean.
You know what we mean.
Don't come out there.
You just wear a regular T-shirt, a regular jeans, shorts, or just we want you to show your support, to show that you are in this passion for peace walk. As we want peace, Barbados. We want peace. We want persons to be passionate about peace. There's our goal.
Right. And I mean, on the poster, you see that there are some people who you are also doing this in memory of.
Yes. It would have been these, and there would have been others after these as well. But these, when we first started, these were the ones in the actual community, Ivy community, that we remembered. So I know there are some, when we do our poster next year, I know there will be some more that we will have to add.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Unfortunately,
as it is.
But
So
it is that it is.
Yeah, the My Lord's Hill Community Connection continues with a Passion for Peace walk, 5K walk and run. It's on Arrowbarrow Day, the 21st of January. That's Tuesday, coming from 6 o'clock in the morning. All assemble at the National Sports Council on My Lord's Hill. You know that's on the main road. And then with David and his crew, they'll mark it out and you will see where to go. They'll usher you very nicely and you come on back and just connect as a community, because it's that community that looks out for each other as well. So well done, Gail. Well done, David.
Thank you.
I really want to commend you on this, continuing this initiative.
Yes.
And I really pray that you do get resounding support and resounding success, and next year and the following year as you continue to focus on peace in the My Lord's Hill community. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Morning Barbados. We'll be back right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
Follow me to Q in the community this Thursday.
You know why? Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Right here now, 9 minutes to go to 8 o'clock. Let's have some fun. Let me go, folks. Time for you to get on your phone and give me a call on 228-5562 or 228-5563. Remember that big question. If a stranger drives up to you, gives you an envelope with $100,000 in it and drives off, what would you do? I've asked you to make some comments on our social media as well. Write out what you think you would possibly do if you cannot call and tell me. But I also have a riddle for you today. This one is so simple. Oh boy. Let me see if you can work this out as well. Work your brain, folks. Which weighs more? A pound of feathers or a pound of bricks? Which weighs more? Think about it. Seriously, think about it. A pound of feathers or a pound of bricks? Which weighs more? 228-5562 or 228-5563. If you took a pound of feathers and you have a pound of bricks, which one would weigh more? I'm being so serious. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Which weighs more? The pound of feathers or the pound of bricks? Call me now and let me know if you have done your equations and you can work this one out. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Let's see if you can take a call. Good morning.
Good morning, Pearson.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
Happy Thursday to you.
Same to you.
Thank you very much. Give me the first name and what parish you're watching from.
I'm Gertrude and I'm watching from the parish of St. Michael.
Hello, Gertz. Good to hear you. So, Gertz, I know you want to contribute on two of our questions that we have here right now. Let me start first with the story about $100,000. What would you do with it?
Pearson? I ain't going to do nothing with it because I'm not taking it in the first place.
You want them to give it to you, so you took it. You don't know what's in it until they've driven off?
No, I'm not going to take it.
No, but Gertrude, if somebody drives that to you and out the window passes you this envelope, your instinct is going to take it. Then you will look into it. But by the time you're looking into the envelope, they have driven off. So what are you going to do?
No, but I'm telling you, Pearson.
You sticking to that?
Yes, I'm not going to take it.
So,
it's a stranger. You took an envelope at me. I don't know you. I don't know why. I'm not taking it in the first place. I'm not taking it.
Fair enough, Gertrude. That's your position. That's your position. Fair enough. I got you. So, which weighs more, the pound of feathers or the pound of bricks?
They both are the same thing.
No.
A pound is a pound.
Oh, but they're feathers and they're bricks. I'm listening. You got, which one is for real? The pound of feathers or the pound of bricks? How could you compare feathers and bricks and tell me they weigh the same thing?
Because I'm thinking that a pound is a pound.
That's what you're thinking.
Yeah, a pound is a pound.
Have you ever lifted a feather? Have you ever lifted a brick?
Yes, but you can get the amount of feathers that's going to weigh a pound to equal a pound of brick.
Are you sticking to that, Gertrude, for real?
Yes, I'm sticking to that, Pearson.
Gertrude Galone, you're right. Well done, Gertrude. Thank you.
Thank you, too. Have a
You're
great
welcome.
day.
Likewise to you, Eddie. Man, cheese on bread. Gertrude got it right. A pound is a pound. She's absolutely right. Whether it's feathers or whatever, a pound is a pound. And so Marcia is saying that they're both the same. A pound is a pound. Thought I could catch y'all with that one. Oh, Estelita girl, you are wrong. You thought a pound of bricks would weigh more than a pound of feathers? Now you know the answer. Now you know that you are even wronger than before. And well done to you too, Patricia Ben. Yes, a pound is a pound. A pound is still a pound. Whether it's feathers, water, bricks, water, or even air. A pound is a pound. Let's take some more calls. 228-5562 or 228-5563. That still question still remains. Someone drives it to you, hands you an envelope that contains $100,000 and they drive off. What would you do? Conscience call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. What's your first name or what parish are you watching from?
I'm from St. George.
And your name?
Kevin.
Hey, oh, Kevin. Yes, so Kevin, what would you do?
I would take it.
You would take the envelope and do what?
I'll take it and save it
You would put it on your bank account or you put it under the bed?
in the bank.
In the bank and then spend it?
No.
You would put $100,000 on the bank and leave it there?
Yeah.
Until when?
I'll tell you I go away.
Until when?
Overseas.
You would take a trip?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're going to spend some of it to buy a ticket to go overseas?
Yeah.
You coming back?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure you'll be back. So you wouldn't be afraid at all. You would just take the money and put it on the bank?
Yeah.
All right, Kevin. Fair enough. That's your position. That's your position. I can't fault you for that. But thank you for calling. Okay, Kevin?
Right.
You're welcome. Take care now. So 228-5562 or 228-5563. Gertrude said she ain't taking it. You can't drive up to me and pass me an envelope. Oh, So Vereen Walker, she's saying she'll take it to the police. Really, Vereen? Really? Would you sneak out $100 bill? Would you take out any of it at all? Or would you take all of it to the police? Honesty is the best policy. Talk to me now. Talk to me. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What would... Oh, somebody wants to turn the question on me? Okay, let's go. Good morning. Oh, they're gone. Oh, they want me... Someone called and asked me what I would do. I keep telling you all, I ask the questions. I don't answer the questions. What would I do? I'll tell you at the end of the show. If you call me again, call me now and tell me and I'll tell you. Now, Marcia says, I am buying a guest house in Barbados so that she and her friends could come on vacation. All right, Marcia, you're taking the people $100,000 and you'll invest it into a guest house. In other words, you're not taking it to the police. So Deborah says she'll take it to the police and hope to get a reward. What if the reward is nothing? What would you do then, Deborah? How would you feel right after that? You've had it in your hand, $100,000 in an envelope without a soul's name on it, given to you. And you're talking about the reward? I'm being serious. I'm asking questions of conscience because I want to hear from you. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Good morning. Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good, you're welcome. What is your first name and what parish are you calling from?
Janet.
Hi, Janet. Where are you calling from?
St. Philip.
St. Philip. Okay, Janet, talk to me. What would you do?
Well, I would ask God blessing on that person, and I would take the money.
Janet, I like you, man. So you won't be scared at all?
No, someone give me money, I will be so excited.
Bless it and spend it, right?
Yes.
What would be the first thing you would buy? You think you would buy, Janet?
I would finish my house. And
talk to me. Don't listen.
Open a business.
Really?
Some sort of business.
Okay. And so you'll be good with that. Your conscience clear.
Yeah, I didn't steal it.
That is true, you know. And you didn't work for it, Janet. But nonetheless, it's all yours. Thank you, Janet. All right?
Welcome.
Have a good day and thank you for watching. Boy, oh boy, look at y'all. Look at what, as we say in Barbados indeed. Don't forget today is Thursday. Patricia says she's giving God thanks for the blessing. Haha, gotcha now. Don't forget today is Thursday, so today is Q in the community. We're going to the Amber Room. We're going to the Amber Room. We're going to the Amber Room. That's where all the action is today. So don't miss Q in the community at the Amber Room there in Dratsall, St. George. It used to be called the White Rabbit Bar. You know it now. So that's where you go. Buses leave the Granville-Williams Terminal Gate number 1 at 11 o'clock. And they'll run almost every hour, but they'll bring you back from 11 o'clock in the night from the Amber Room. So enjoy Q in the community today. Also tonight, the action on TV8 is Carnival Catwalk. Don't miss tonight's episode. It's going to be epic, as the young people say. No reward, but at least I was honest. Thank you, Deborah. All right, that's it for today, everybody. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. Our little crew says thank you. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning, Barbados.